I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737 777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 103. And today is an exciting episode because I actually have my good friend and business partner from the islands of Hawaii, Mr. Danny Katoa. This gentleman is a husband of 20 years, father of two boys, 17 and 15-year-olds, a marketplace minister. He's an entrepreneur of several businesses and several investments. One of the businesses that he's involved with is the same business that I'm involved with. And he's earned over an annual income of $200,000 in a year. He's earned over $3 million with that business. And he started another business called Tiki Jerky, where he's the co-owner of that business. And of course, he's got several other investments as well. And so help me welcome my good friend, again, from the islands of Hawaii, Mr. Danny Katoa. All right. Well, hey, I am super excited to have my good friend on the line here today. He's been a great friend of mine for many, many years. And he hailed out of Hawaii, as you heard in the introduction. But, one thing I love about this gentleman, Mr. Danny Katoa, he's actually a business partner of mine as well. But one thing I love about him is he always has a servant's heart. He always has, you could just tell, my wife calls me a gentle giant, but you remind me of that same spirit. We have kindred spirits. So that's one thing I love about you. And so just excited to have you on the show. Welcome, Danny Katoa out of Hawaii. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm fantastic. It's an honor and a privilege to be on the platform and just hear the good things that you're doing, and also get to share some ideas and some testimonies of what we've been able to do as well, man. So I'm honored and humble at the same time.
Absolutely. Well, we're definitely excited to have you on the show. I can't wait for the listeners to hear this. And so, just tell us about yourself. Introduce us to who Danny Katoa is from the island of Hawaii.
So let me give you a quick story. So I was born and raised in a little third world country called Tonga. My family, that's in the South Pacific. My family migrated to Inglewood, California when I was 11 years old. I learned English. Going from a third world country to the hood of Inglewood, California was a shocking experience for me. But, everything happens for a reason. It molded me into be who I am today. How I ended up here in Hawaii is I came on a football scholarship to University of Hawaii. I met my beautiful wife my senior year, and I've never made it home. So, Hawaii's been a home to me. Been married now for over 20 plus years. We got two beautiful teenagers. One is 17, a senior in high school, and one is a freshman in the same high school. So it's been a blessing, man. I get to be a father full time and a husband full time. It's my main job.
Wow, that's so incredible. I mean, I remember when they were little, and just to see them grow up, it's just how time flies. And that's just awesome. Your background. I mean, I can't even imagine coming from a third world country and being in a new country, having to learn a new language and learn how things work, and just trying to make it right when you're in a country that you've never been to. So I can't even imagine that adjustment. Was it hard for you?
I gotta be honest. And yes, it was hard. It was definitely, it's difficult. Like, just for instance, if you moved to Tonga, right, and had to relearn how to speak Tongan, that's the only language they speak. It can be very difficult. So, having to learn English was a challenge, and then I was at an age where it was so difficult at the age of 11, because you start to build self-confidence, self-conscious. You know when people are laughing at you, right? Or talking about you. So you kind of you know develop this strongholds, or this different types of feeling towards that. So it was hard, but you know, uh, for me, it was like, man, this is America. This is a land of opportunity. You know what I mean? You laugh all you want. I'm gonna do something with myself, and that was just always been the attitude that my father had in our household. And so he just kept pushing us towards education. Go to school. Go to school. Go to school. As much as I did like school, I was not the smartest kid on the block, and especially in my family. My older brother, my older sister, and my younger sister, they were all brainiacs. I think they stole all the great membranes in our family. And I was labeled as the black sheep of the family, as the per se, as the dumb kid in the family. I had very challenging time learning traditional education.
Well, man, look, I grew up in America and I had some challenges just in my younger years. So I know what it's all about to get teased and laughed at and all that stuff. But hey, here we are. And you
Yeah.
almost want to say who's laughing now? Yeah, so let me ask you, you have several successful businesses and things of that nature. What drove you to entrepreneurship? And just tell us a little bit about your journey, because part of this podcast is about us discovering how to get free, freedom in all areas of life, whether it be finances, health, wealth, relationships, everything. But particularly, sometimes you got to get the money right to get some of the other things right.
Amen. Yeah.
Because if you could have a blissful marriage, but if the fight is always about money, then it has some challenges. You know what I mean? So tell us about your entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, it's been a journey. It's not always. It wasn't always hunky dory. It wasn't always great, but I believe I right around 14 and 15, freshman sophomore year in school, my dad used to work 2 to 3 jobs to provide, right? And my dad learned, like, he was working like $5, $7 jobs with security jobs, and he would work little odd jobs, odd projects on the weekend, like cutting grass, cutting trees, and things of that nature. That was his entrepreneur spirit. And you know, it wasn't always gravy all the time. It wasn't always lucrative all the time, but there were certain weekends he would come home and he'd say, "Man, I made $1,200 these last 2 days, right?" And he said, "That's more than what I made in my 3 jobs put together." And I was just mind blown. I said, well, why don't you do more of that? In my head, I'm like, why don't you do more of that and do less of this? But I realized why he had to do the 3 jobs and do the entrepreneur part on top of it. And so that always stuck with me. And as I grew, went to college, that's something I always thought about. It's like, this professor that are teaching me business or teaching me about certain, business classes. Do they actually have ever owned a business? Have they ever actually operated a business? And if they were operating a very successful business, they wouldn't be here teaching me about the class, right? And so that always stuck with me. And I think what really broke the camel's back for me was when I had graduated from University of Hawaii, I went off and pursue a career as a professional athlete. And when that didn't work out, I got a job. And my first ever job was a school counselor. And here in Hawaii, you had to work a whole entire month before you get your first paycheck. And that first paycheck was like, it changed my life because it was $780 and some change after Uncle Sam got a hold of my check, and I was like, man, this can't be real, So I just started thinking about like I can't repeat the cycle in my family. And I wanted to honor my dad. My dad sacrificed, broke his back, saved every penny for years just to send my siblings and I to come and have a better life. So I wanted to honor his sacrifice, and I wanted to find something that would allow to change our family tree for forever, and not longer just our family tree, but my existing family. I wanted, at the time, my wife was an entrepreneur. She was a doctor of chiropractic, so she was making the money, and I wanted to be the man of the house and be a provider and a protector for her, and not her providing for me in that way. So that's what drove me. I think my dad really inspired me to be an entrepreneur. And then I had great support from my wife, who was already an entrepreneur running a very successful chiropractic business. So that really came me a hand up because I, was able to, she gave me the freedom to build it.
Wow, that's so good because you saw an example and you wanted to honor. I love the fact that you want to honor your legacy. Now you're creating a legacy. You know what I mean? That's so good because now your kids get to see it from a different perspective. Still same work ethic, but done a different way. So now their only mindset is, what business are we starting? Right? Because that's all they know. That's all they've seen. You know what I mean? So you've already shifted your legacy for your family, and that's what we talk about all the time here on Cold Freedom.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Well, listen. I understand that you took a small investment and was able to turn it into millions, right? In fact, $3 million, right? And with that, you've been able to start other businesses as well. So just tell us more about that, like what that was like in terms of, that's not something people do every day. So just tell us about that journey.
Well, it's like what you just explained is like the end result of what unfolded, what took place. But the lead up process took time to get to that awareness, knowledge, wisdom, and to be able to recognize the opportunity, So yeah, today to be understanding the four quadrants of income, and we want to be on the right side of the quadrant versus on the left side. That's the B quadrant and the I quadrant. I realized that, even on the B quadrant, as you build a very lucrative passive residual income, you still want to put overall on that money so that it can continue to spit you a cash flow, whether you're working or not, right? And I think Robert Kiyosaki says it best: before you go buy the trash, take the money from the B quadrant, put it in the I quadrant, get the money, then buy the trash, And so I just always was intrigued or driven. I maybe attracted to that. I was like, man, one day I'm gonna work towards being in the I quadrant, be able to put overalls on my money. And that's, I think the law of the universe, conspired for me. I was heading in the right direction, doors open, I stepped right into it, and was able to be blessed with the opportunity to invest into Tiki Jerky, and now other investments. Is pretty amazing, man. How many doors are open? I used to hear, I believe it was Brian Carruthers. He used to say, "Look, you don't have to go looking for investments. You build your business, investments will come looking for you." And I like it to say that I've done an okay job of positioning myself for opportunities like that. And so we have a couple of different portfolios that we in the I quadrant that we have invested into, that really changed as you alluded to earlier, Mr. Bales, is that has changed the trajectory of my children for the future, like for generations, And so we're excited for that. We're excited for that.
That's so awesome. It's so funny you said that because I literally just said the same thing on the last episode, right? About moving from the left side to the right side. What I tell people is make your money work for you, and then make your money make money, which is exactly the same thing as you just said. So we're definitely talking in alignment here. But I'm just congratulations on all your success. I've always admired you and just all that you've been able to achieve and accomplish, but really all the people that you're helping in the process of that. That's the big thing as well. But another thing that I love about you is that you're a big family man. And that's important, because what good is it to gain the world and to lose your soul? What good is it to be successful but be failing at home and things of that nature? So because you made those sacrifices, you created freedom. Tell us about some of the rewards and experiences that you get to have now with your family as a result of you shifting your mindset and allowing that to change how you live your lifestyle.
Man, I don't think we have enough time to be able to walk you through truly what as God has done for me and my family. And I gotta slow down. I'm getting it's always emotional for me, because I so appreciate where I came from to where I'm at today. I have two boys. They go to a private school. I've never experienced private school. And this private school is very prominent. That's where President Obama went to school at. And there's only a few privileged people that get to go to it. And so to be able to financially support two children and give them something that I've never experienced is, to me, that's a blessing. That's what entrepreneurship has done for me and my wife. To be able to drop my kids off, pick them up, take them. We just came back from about a month and a half of taking my son to Arizona, to Las Vegas 3 times, to California twice, and all on a basketball tournament. And you and I both know this, it's not a rental car. You have to cross, you got to fly, then you got to get hotels, then you got to get rental cars, and, and all of this stuff. But for a month and a half of doing that, I would have never been able to do it, first of all, financially wise, if I was still had a job, and then let alone had the time freedom to be present and cheer my son and just being supportive of him. Those things are priceless to me. But that's what the B quadrant, the right side of the quadrant, has allowed us to do, because we position ourselves and recognize the opportunity. But man, as a dad, this is every father's dream, is to be present. I once heard it this way being said, Mr. Bell, is that poverty is not just the absence of money. Poverty is also the absence in relationship. Poverty can happen in relationship. Poverty can happen in family. Poverty can happen in spiritual, right? And things of that nature. And so I'm just so grateful for being able to raise a kingdom-like family that starts with our faith, and family first, and then finances second. But to be able to honor the people that came before and sacrifice, to show them that say, hey, I'm carrying the torch, and I'm gonna make sure that the next generation get to honor the work that we're doing today as well. So yeah, man, I'm just so grateful for the opportunity. Man, this is I feel like I'm living in a dream, man. Like this really something I've envisioned a long time ago, and it's coming to fruition. And just really grateful to God's grace and mercy over my journey, man.
Yeah, you're covering like every podcast that I've ever done, because a few episodes ago we talked about gratitude as well, and gratitude is a seed for more, and that is why it keeps coming to you, because you have such a grateful spirit, and it's interesting, because some people could think, oh, code freedom, and you guys, it's all about the money. No, it's about having the experiences and the memories that you can build with your family, just like you talked about. Like it just warms my heart to know that your kid's trajectory is different now, because you were able to be there, but you were also able to provide. Because I mean, it's one thing to be there, but if you're there, but you also are not able to provide in the way you want to, where they can live a different lifestyle, then there's still some challenges there. So you're able to have the best of both worlds, the time and the money, where you can now have the freedom and you can just pass on a whole nother lifestyle to them. So I'm just excited, man, because your kids, I mean, hey, there may be future presidents and there will be future business owners. I don't want to say they will be. And that's because of how you gave them a launching pad. You know what I mean? So that's awesome. Well, a couple things I want to ask, and then we'll kind of wrap this up. But what are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun? And by the way, a plug. I know you have your own podcast, so maybe you want to talk about that as well.
Yeah, man. One of the hobbies that I just picked up, like maybe 7 to 9 years ago, is ministry. I just kind of fell on my lap, and I just found this joy in serving others, and then also introducing, God's grace and promises over people's lives. And I that's kind of like 80% of my time today, is ministry. I think the hobby that I get to do is working out with my kids, going to watch them play, support them, cheer. I've learned to cheer gracefully now versus, yelling and shouting and things of that nature. I love food, so I love going to experience different restaurants with my wife and my family. Yeah, and travel always. We live in Hawaii, so we get to go to outer islands. My wife's family have a beautiful beach house on the private beach, and so going over there and just relaxing for the weekend and then flying back, it's just, those are some of the fun things we like to do. But in this season, it's always about our kids. Everything is between my wife and I, everything is centered around our two boys and what they're doing with their lives. And we're just present in their life. That's kind of like our hobby in these days.
That's good. I mean, there's no greater thing than that, is being able to be involved and being able to be there. Tell us about your podcast.
Oh yeah. So man, I just felt led this about, I think we're 9 months into it. And when COVID hit, I saw an opportunity. God put the seed in my heart to start something that will provide practical ways to strengthen people's faith, add value, practical ways that will add value to relationship and family and household. Because all we see today is division, right? And then also sharing opportunity on how someone can change their financial future, not wait on a stimulus check from the government or things of that nature. And so every Thursday, we highlight a person who's walking in that spheres of influence, whether it's family, faith, or finances. And actually, this upcoming next Thursday, my family is going to be featured on the show, and I'm already getting resistance from my two boys. It's like, man, you don't have to pay us. I'm like, boy, you better get on the show. You're going to be walking to school.
Yeah, what's interesting is I'm still trying to get my wife to be on the show.
Yeah.
We'll make that happen.
Yeah, man, the show we've got amazing feedback. I don't want to sound arrogant or pompous, but I think it's the guests, the people that we have chosen. For every person that we abstract to see the show, to be on the show, it's every person we prayed for to God show us who can speak to our audience, and we've gotten some great feedback from people in the process. So we continue to keep growing, man. We're not as out to par like yours, but we're getting there. We're work in progress.
Hey, we're still working too, man. We're still working on getting it going. So, but I appreciate that. And in a minute, I'll give you an opportunity to share, how people can connect with you. But before we do that, one last question is, once again, this podcast is about codes to freedom. And what's one tip that you would give our listeners when it comes to uh, going in the direction of freedom? I mean, you shared so many already, but what's one of your biggest tips that you would share that's helped you?
Ooh, I think mentorship, you know, that's what comes to mind for me. I think about the mentors that I have financially in my life, that I have spiritually in my life. Um, that I it's just unreal because what mentors do is allow you to grow without having to go through the growing pains. And I think that's what most people don't understand. Yes, no matter what we do, is we're gonna have to do the work. You got to do the work, right? Whether if you want a great spiritual life or a great marriage, there's work that's involved. You got to do the work, and people just want the results. They don't want the work. When it comes with it, it's the same with finances. If you want financial freedom, you got to do the work. There's work that comes along. But it's amazing to me that people will do the work in working for someone else, but they won't do the work so that they work for themselves. And so a mentor helps us to cut our learning curves. And what may take you 3 years to fall on your face may take you 3 months. And I think about my relationship that I've had with my mentor, Kevin Mack. He coached me over the phone to making six figures before he stepped foot in Hawaii. And so people would ask, well, how come Mr. Mack and you relationship is so significant? I think because he was committed to coaching, and I was committed to listening and applying. And so if there's a mutual agreement of commitment, magic happens, because I went from 3,000 my first year to 9,000 to 135 my third year, where in my second year at 9,000, I almost quit, and just because I just didn't see any value. I'll start figuring, man, if I make another 18 my third year, that's not going to sound good to my wife, and that's not going to feel good to me as a man. But because I had a mentor, I had this leapfrog from 9,000 to 135. That's what mentorship can do, is that it allows you to multiply your effort at a greater capacity. But you just have to, you do what you have to do, and stepping out on faith and laboring faithfully, and the increase will come. And so, my encouragement for someone who's listening is, find somebody that has what you want, ask them what they did, and ask them to mentor you. There are so many people that are willing to give of themselves in a way that will change the trajectory of your life forever, generationally. Yeah. So I think that's the thing that came to heart, man.
That's good. I mean, that's so spot on. I mean, there's nothing I can add to that. I mean, it's so important that we have mentorships. So, well, hey, listen, I appreciate you so much for being on the show. And would you share like how people can connect with you?
Yeah, DannyKatoa.com. I have a website. I also on Triple F Faith Family Finance on Facebook, Instagram, and then we also have a YouTube channel that you can listen to some of our prior shows and things of that nature. But you can find me on any other social platform at Danny Katoa or dkatoa.com.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Well, thank you so much once again. You've always been a great friend of mine and business partner, and it's such an honor to have you on.
Mr. Bell, it is a pleasure. The honor is mine, and thank you for having me on.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. All right, guys, this is episode 103. Can't wait to see you on episode 104. Take care, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value, and definitely feel free to Give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.